Hey, this is Big Ben's Movie Review Show. I'm your host, Big Ben. This week, my guest will be Susan Frawley. She's an expert in scary movies, paranormal activity stuff, which is the title of one of the movies we saw, and things of that nature, spooky, creepy things. So that's why she and I watched these movies this week. The first movie that she saw and that I know some stuff about is Gem and the Holograms. Let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer for Gem and the Holograms.
I, Jerica Benton, am living the most unexceptional life.
Get one of those grocery bags.
My sister Kimber and I live with our Aunt Bailey and her 2 foster kids.
Here she is.
Sing one of your songs.
I don't like being on camera.
At some point, we all wish that we could just become someone else.
I'm gonna play you a song I wrote.
Who's got the heart of a hunter, pounding like thunder?
She'll thank me later.
Prowling the night.
Something's happening that you really need to see.
What? Oh my God. Is that me?
Did you do this, Kimber?
This is about you not going your whole life wondering what would have happened if you didn't take that chance.
The biggest record company in the world wants to sign us.
You're gonna be famous! Who wants to walk on water?
Welcome to Starlight Enterprises.
This is Rio.
Hi, girls.
You
Are no longer Jerica.
Gem. That's what we call you now.
That means changing the way you act, sound, and look.
This is us?
No, it's Photoshop.
If you got young blood, live to party.
All the web's been talking about is Gem.
Gem and her band of sisters revealing a whole new look.
You're on the radio!
No.
Oh my God, we're on the radio!
I would have never guessed that coming here would mean a whole new Jerica.
You mean Gem.
The whole world wants to know who you are right now. An icon is not one of 4. It's one of a kind.
You don't want us around anymore? That's not how a family's supposed to act.
This is just the beginning.
The version of me that they want doesn't exist.
Even when the odds seem impossible, you need to trust the people you're closest to.
I have to fix this.
Let's go, Gem.
Showtime synergy. Everyone has a secret identity. Which one's the real you?
My daughter would kill me if I didn't get an autograph.
Of course.
She's gonna freak.
On your arm?
Yeah.
What was her name?
You just put Steven.
Gem is truly, truly, truly outrageous, and that is an outrageously bad movie. Susan, you have a bunch of thoughts on this. Let's go ahead. You just go nuts.
First off, I want to apologize. I've had a bit of a cold, so I'm a little bit raspy.
That's okay.
So I went and saw Gem and the Holograms because you asked me to, and I could never take that back in my life.
I'm so sorry.
Ever.
I'm sorry.
There is so much I could say about this movie. So much I could say about this movie. It has absolutely nothing to do with the cartoon, apparently, from, they were supposed to be like crime fighters and musicians.
Yeah, they were crime fighters / musicians.
But what happens here is 4 girls, their mother died or their family died. They live with their aunt now. And the 4 girls live in this house, and they all sing when they get angry. And
as we all do.
As we all do. Yeah. And so the video of her singing gets uploaded onto social media, and she becomes an internet sensation.
That's what happens.
And a big agent, played by Juliette Lewis, who is a good actress, but not in this movie,
usually, yeah.
Signs her and signs them. And they go to Hollywood, and all 4 of them are put in one single room in a giant mansion in Hollywood.
And see, we discussed this, though. My theory is that that's because the other rooms are taken up by Josie and the Pussycats and other bands of that era, that you can't just put them all in their own rooms. those rooms are taken. They need those.
And I have so much I could say about this movie.
That is
These
a
are my
large amount of
notes from reading
Although
in the
I do
dark.
see on your notes, one just says, "Kill me now."
Kill me now.
Kill me now.
Okay. Kill me now. That is when she was falling in love with someone over breakfast. But to make a long story, a very, very long story short, not only is the things that stand out to me are when they're playing their guitars and their little keyboard thing.
Yeah.
The girl with the keyboards, her hand never moves from that part of the keyboard. Never goes up and down.
Not good object work. Not good
Even
object
though
work in
it's
Gem.
a keyboard, one guitar, and the drums, the sound's quite rich for that. But the lady playing the guitar, the girl playing the guitar, most of the time is going like this.
Which, as we all know, is the best way to play the guitar. Just don't touch it. Touching it is when it starts to sound bad.
Then, she's told that they don't want the girls. They just want her. They just want Gem. Because she's the star. And so in order to save the house that they're being evicted from, she signs the solo contract. And 5 minutes before they're supposed to go on stage, the band finds out about it and leaves. Then 5 minutes later, suddenly she's in a Lady Gaga dress with dancers behind her.
Of course.
And none of this has been rehearsed.
No, not at all rehearsed.
None
the
of it.
dancers are all ready to go. I did see, too, the one point that has to happen in all teenage girl movies, the flopping down onto the mattress and just staring at the ceiling in just angst because your life is just,
It is.
And I can't even, yeah.
It's bad. I could go on and on and on and on, but really mostly I just want to forget I even thought.
It's just bad. We don't need to know much more than that. All right, so the next movie on the list, and this is less bad, is The Last Witch Hunter, starring Vin Diesel.
Father? You have tasted more of life than I can ever imagine. But your story has no end.
Do you know what it's like to live forever?
Your immortality has made you the greatest soldier of the Action Cross in a war between our world and the next.
I've waited my entire life for the opportunity to help you.
Well, now's your chance. You want to quit?
No, I want to raise.
You're a dream walker. Get out. I need you to take me to the dream world. It's the only way to fight what's coming.
If you die in there, you die out here. And I need you to wake up. You are in a trap!
Yeah, you're not qualified for what happens next. The most powerful witches that ever walked the earth are here to destroy us.
And so it begins.
There's some very bad things out there.
Who says that a witch can't hunt witches?
You know what I'm afraid of?
I thought this was kind of like a sci-fi movie with better graphics. But Susan, because she's an expert and has all this cool... because she told me she's got actual historical inaccuracies with this movie. My only inaccuracy with this movie was that Vin Diesel was tough. That was the only part of it that I thought was really fake. So Susan, go ahead, tell us what was wrong with this movie.
Well, the thing I thought of when I said this is, to me, it was sort of like Men in Black, but with witches.
Yep.
You know, instead of aliens. You never got to know anybody. You never got to know anybody in the movie. They were just characters with no substance behind them at all. And Elijah Wood was absolutely awful.
Yeah.
And I don't know if his acting was bad just because he was bad in this movie or if it was bad direction.
I got the feeling that you didn't want to get to know any of the people.
No, you didn't, because it was.
Not
But there was
quality people,
even Vin Diesel. They flash back to his wife and his child, and is happy. His wife and his child
But you
are
don't
alive.
actually get to hear the wife and child. You don't
No,
know.
and you don't know who the hell.
No.
You don't know who the heck
You
he
can say
is.
hell, it's all right.
You don't know who. You don't get to know him. But the thing that really bugged me, and this is the kind of thing that bugs me in movies, and is that there were historical inaccuracies. There's a scene where he says, you see all this land out there. One day they dug down deep and they found thousands of graves of slaves, and then they built over it. Vin Diesel, that's my Vin Diesel.
That's your Vin Diesel, yeah.
And the thing is, they didn't build over it. They found these graves of these African American slaves in New York City, and it is now the African Burial Ground National Monument with a visitor center and a commemorative plaque.
So they built over some of it, but in a very nice,
in a nice
respectful
way, and so it's a
lay
national.
off Vin Diesel.
It's a national monument, and then also Rose is a witch, one of the witches, right? But she's a good witch. Okay, she's a good witch.
Like Glenda.
Yes, and she gets all upset because she feels like her people were oppressed because they burned us in Salem. Well, they actually never burned anybody in Salem. They hung the witches in Salem.
What?
Yes, what?
So I can't trust movies like The Witch Hunter to give me accurate
No.
facts about history? That's terrible.
Because it's a documentary.
My goodness. I thought it was.
It is.
No, yeah. It's about
But
that,
yes.
it's that documentary about that time that Vin Diesel had hair. And he totally looks like Macklemore. We now know the secret to why he shaves his head. He looks exactly like Macklemore, and you can't have two of them.
You know, the thing too is was he a Viking or was he just a
middle-aged guy.
peasant?
Yeah.
And why was this witch? There was so many things that I would have liked to have known. Like, who were these people? Why were they hunting this witch? Well, they said that it was because she brought plague to their village. She brought the plague. But there's
I mean, the whole scene with the witch thing is so over the top where anybody who's not Vin Diesel goes down for nothing. Like, the witch just bumps him. He's dead. He's dead. He's done. He's dead. Meanwhile, Vin Diesel's like, he can take claw marks. She throws everything at him, and he's just like, whatever. Just keeps, I am Groot, and just keeps coming at her.
That's like kind of how it felt.
And he just keeps coming at her. And I think my big takeaway from this is I now want to see Vin Diesel play something that isn't Vin Diesel. I would like to see him play somebody who has hair, who is mild-mannered, who is kind to people, who says things like, how are you doing? Nice morning. Is it hot enough for you? I want to see him play like a normal guy.
He was kind to Rose. Actually, by the way, I do want to say a couple of good things on this movie. The special effects were pretty awesome.
They were great.
They were awesome.
They were great.
And the sets were beautiful.
As a mainstream movie, not really up
There
to
was
the
no
snuff.
substance whatsoever.
So, no. Next movie we're looking at, Paranormal Activity. This is I guess the fourth one. Paranormal Activity, Ghost Dimension. It's either the fourth one or the sixth one, depending on how you're counting them. So let's go ahead and take a look at Paranormal Activity.
Katie, Kirsty, I want you to concentrate.
Concentrate. I need you to concentrate.
She's like in some sort of trance state or something. They're inducing a trance.
Where'd you get this?
From a box of 80 VHS tapes the old homeowners left in the basement.
This tape is 20 years old.
Tell me what you see. I think I see two men. What are your names?
Brian. Mike.
We're the Fleege brothers.
Brothers. Daddy, I can't sleep.
What's going on?
I hear noises in my room.
You hear noises in your room? Okay, well, Daddy will go up and make sure everything's...
Bless you.
You see that? We gotta find more of those tapes.
Look at this camera.
And there's obviously something going on here. It's got all these knobs you can adjust.
Oh my god. How do you hold that?
Cool.
So big! It's so big!
This is weird. I'm seeing something, and there's this thing that I'm picking up with the camera.
Who is that?
I think this camera can see things you cannot see with the naked eye.
This is so cool.
I've heard of spirit photography before, I've just never seen it in person.
What are you doing in here?
Is she talking backwards? Is she saying Bloody Mary?
Whatever's happening is connected to the tapes.
Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary.
She has never tried anything like this before.
How did she get up that high?
He's gonna take me away. Toby.
What if someone conspired for us to be in this house?
This is no coincidence, and I believe she's part of a prophecy.
Mike, don't move. There's something behind you.
Oh, scary, scary movie. To me, this movie started off, for me, being scary right off the bat. There were no trailers. And I don't think I've been to a movie in my entire life that did not have trailers. So I just sat down, and at the appointed time, the lights went dark, and the movie started. So right off the bat, I'm already freaked out just because you have jumped off the page of the movie-going experience for me. What did you think of this one?
I liked it. Of all the paranormals, I've seen the four, at least that I know of, 4 paranormals, and I really liked this one the best.
Okay.
I did. I thought it tied it all together really well with what was going on about this. The special effects were pretty good overall, except for when when the scares, when they jumped the thing out at you, it was all fuzzy crappy.
Yeah.
There was only one good time, and that was at the end. I mean, they still scared you a little bit, but only at the end there was one good 3D special effect where it jumped out. But overall, it was pretty scary, and it got me at the end. It got me really going at the end. I was pretty scared at the end because there were some audio effects that I'm not going to tell you about that I thought were very scary. But again, what we've been talking about kind of while you were watching the trailer is, why do they leave the child in the room when they know there's a creepy, scary thing in there?
There's a ton of opportunities in this movie to shout at the screen about how stupid the character's being. Don't leave her in the room by herself. What's wrong with you? Wipe off the devil door that's written on the wall. Something. I mean, there's a bunch of parts where it's typical horror movie. Like, well, it doesn't work if we don't make them stupid.
It's going to take your child. Good night, little angel. I'll see you in the morning.
See you in the morning. We're gonna go in like the other room that's way down the hall.
Yeah, her room is the farthest room in the entire house. Their room is way over there. Their guests that are staying there are downstairs. This child is way, way, way out back. I do not know why you do that with a 5-year-old.
The other thing I remember too, they keep talking about the tent.
The little pink tent. You're waiting
She's got a little tent, and you keep waiting for something to happen in the tent. Because they're like, and there's a tent, and there's in the room, and you're like, oh. And they constantly will go in the tent, making you think, oh, here comes the part where there's a thing in the tent. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It never happens.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the friggin' tent. And it's so frustrating.
I was actually, of all the movies I watched, I was very captivated with that one. I enjoyed it. It was worth going to the movies to see. Yeah. The one thing, though, that got me is, I would like to know, who are these people that they can stay up all night and never leave their house? They stay up all night, filming things.
Oh, yeah.
It's 3 a.m, they're wandering around the house.
And something scary happens. And apparently they just don't go to bed after that.
And then they never leave. Are they on vacation? Do they work from home?
They seem to work from home.
I'm like, they have a lot of money, but they never leave the house.
But they never leave the house.
But overall, I quite enjoyed it, and there were some really good scares in it. I just don't want to.
And jump scares. It didn't give you the foreboding thing, but just a lot of, dun 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 ha, and then I jump out of my chair, and I did have to take a buddy. I can't see it alone. I'm a grown man. I'm enormous. And I'm scared.
At the end, I was crawling into my partner's lap because I was like, no.
Yeah.
It was worth it. I thought it was worth it anyway. And it was not, there were a couple of moments when that camera view was a little bit jumpy, but for the most part, I thought that was real nice and steady, and I enjoyed that because I can't take that jittery stuff too long.
No. Which, and I forgot to mention, did happen at the end of Witch Hunter. After everything's said and done and they're having a nice little scene between the male and female lead, they gave the camera to somebody to hold in their hand, and the poor gentleman had had too many coffees, or he's got early onset Parkinson's. Something's going wrong because it was, I mean, just jumbling all over. And I felt that it was. I started to get dizzy looking at Vin Diesel. Hold still. So yeah, but this Paranormal Activity did none of that. The camera work was nice and smooth.
Yeah, it was. There were lots of good things. Of all the 3 movies I had to go see, that one I did enjoy. I actually enjoyed going to see that.
Yeah, if I enjoyed movies like that, I don't like scary movies. That's what she's for. I don't like this scary stuff. So, yeah. But a good one. I got scared. Plus, at the end, no music for the titles.
No, it was just...
The movie ends and it's just quiet, and they quietly show you the titles.
And we're all sitting there, the 6 of us, and we just sat there in the dark, and it's black, a black screen and we just sat there, we didn't know what to do. The lights didn't come up, nothing. They just left us sitting there in the dark, and it was disconcerting.
They left sitting there in the dark, having just watched the end, which is also just creepy, and now you're just sitting there, like, pondering what to do with your life.
Yeah, it was kind of that feeling.
It was, yeah. So. Anyway, so all right. So last one up, Rock the Casbah with Bill Murray. Bill Murray's comeback. Did you guys just put up the Rock picture yet? Is that what happened? Yes. Okay. So we're just throwing that up whenever now. Last movies of the weekend, Rock the Casbah with Bill Murray. Here's the clip. There we go. Yeah. So last week on the show, I mentioned The Rock. He's doing a remake of something, and they pulled up that picture, which is like him, like, before he became a pro wrestler. And so they kept bringing that back up throughout the whole show. It's like anywhere it fit, they would throw up The Rock. I got to tell the whole story about
a grain of
The
sand
Rock has breast
into an
implants.
oyster and irritates the bivalve. What
And
happens?
that picture is back before he had it. Because he has, like, even when he was a wrestler, he was very fit.
If you'll
his
have
breasts
me.
would come clean.
What happened to that smile you had? That Richie Land smile? You were really something.
Not worse, sweetheart. M.
I booked tours, dude. Bring this chick. For money. For a ton of money.
To Afghanistan?
Sir, we'll get you people squared away with the Humvee and body armor.
I'm sorry. Body armor?
Let's keep all of that on a need-to-know basis, okay?
No.
Rise and shine, songbird.
The girl's gone.
What about the show?
Well, I guess the show must go on.
I mean, a major cast.
What the hell am I doing here?
Yeah, a bunch of great people.
I have spent my life searching for a voice.
Boring.
You sing?
Not very funny.
but I will
Pete
leave
Hudson
you
does really
broken
nothing in
and
the movie.
speaking in tongues.
It's Italian and funny.
Hey,
This feels
I
like
ain't never
Bill
seen
Murray's
anything like this
heat
before,
check.
sir.
Well, it's wartime, son.
Last
night, I heard a girl singing. This has got to be fate.
They are forbidden to sing. They will kill her and then kill us.
These are the very good guys. We gotta help these guys.
I must sing. It is God's will.
And it's safe?
It's safe as milk.
Okay, I want 20%.
Whatever I get
Safe as milk
next week, I
was
threw
the
in
deal.
Steve
Trying
Jobs
to fucking
because,
milk, man. I don't like
the
that
other
tone of
two
your
was-
voice.
If you really know talent, then do something.
I'm pretty sure you've heard about Afghan Star.
Afghan star. Like your American Idol?
Salima has the gift, she has the magic. She's the best I ever heard.
I am still in the goddamn game, baby. Richie Land, talent manager. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh. Back at you, babe.
You are a piece of work. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm saying that's real quick. So that's Rock the Casbah. To me, this movie, and from the reviews I've seen from my own personal watching of it, it just wasn't. It was all the things that wanted to be a comedy, but it was just never totally funny enough. To me, the best part of the movie is that the soundtrack for the movie does include a track of Bill Murray singing "Smoke on the Water," and I say singing because he screams it. He screams it. It's "Smoke on the Water," and it's him doing almost his Nick the Nightclub act from SNL from back in the day, and it's so much noise. To me, this whole movie feels like Bill Murray doing a heat check. Which is a term from basketball when the guy thinks that he just can't miss anymore. And so he's just throwing it up from half court because, like, I mean, they're going in, so you might as well just heave it up. This is Bill Murray like, I'm so popular. People like me so much. What if I just make a movie that's just, nah. And then we'll see if people, and people have not gone to see it. It didn't even crack the top 10. It's got less than 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, which it seems to be a hard thing to do lately. It's got a lower score than Fantastic Four. I'll put that out there. Fantastic Four sucks, and it's got a lower score than Fantastic Four. So probably go ahead and skip that one. Maybe if you're a big Bill Murray fan, wait for video. But other than that, you don't need to see that. Okay, so that's the movie reviews all done and done with. Let's go ahead now. We're looking at the box office for this last weekend. The two movies that Susan and I saw that we both kind of liked, both made the top 10. Witch Hunter and Paranormal Activity, number 4 and number 6, respectively. But the big takeaways that I see when I'm looking at this chart, go ahead, guys, let's throw the chart up on the main screen here, is that Crimson Peak dropped like a stone. Released last week, had a decent opening, and then dropped all the way down to number 8, and seems to just be going down further and further. The one good news for Crimson Peak, though, huge overseas. They've done as much business overseas as they have here. In fact, I think a little bit more. So they've made their money as a movie, mostly due to their overseas sales. So good for them on that. The Steve Jobs movie went nationwide this week. We didn't review it. We're going to go ahead and review it next week. And it's not the Ashton Kutcher Steve Jobs movie. No, this is the good one. This is the one with Michael Fassbender and Seth Rogen, who I almost auditioned to be a body double for, and it has now been pointed out I am now fatter than. So thankfully we didn't do that. But yeah, so that one went wide this week, and you would think once it goes wide, because it was only at about 60 theaters before, it went wide. It's at 2,493 theaters now, and still only did 7 million, which is not a good sign. I mean, it's got a ton of Oscar buzz. It's Aaron Sorkin. I'm a huge Aaron Sorkin nut, so I'm going to enjoy watching it. But that's not good news for the Steve Jobs movie. And then the other big news, this is kind of rare. The Martian dropped out of the top spot last week, went down to number 2, and Goosebumps was in the lead. The Martian has now climbed back into the top. This almost never happens. That's the Martian Manhunter. That's not the Martian with Matt Damon. That's the beloved Justice League character, who will hopefully one day get a movie of his own. But no, it actually, and you almost never see this, where a movie drops out of the top spot and then gets back into it.
Well, it's really good.
So you've seen it?
Oh gosh, yes. I went to see it, and then after I saw it, I recommended it to everybody on my Facebook, and I've noticed a couple of people are taking a little bit of time to go and say, hey, I think I will see that. It's awesome. And
I can tell that locally here, it's still playing in several theaters.
It is a good movie, that's why.
It's still a big deal. So yeah. I will try to watch that before next week so that I can corroborate. Movie. But it sounds just like everybody likes it.
Oh,
so at this point, if I didn't like it, I'd probably just keep it to myself.
I couldn't find anything to complain about with that movie, and that's rare.
Wow.
I'm very picky. I'm always complaining about something, and that one had nothing.
Yeah, no,
nothing.
It sounds like it's amazing. So if you haven't seen The Martian yet, go see it again. Maybe see if it makes number 1 again. There's not a lot of competition out for next week. So, yeah. All right, moving on. We go now to the movie news, and we start here. The Guardian has published the first reviews for Spectre, the new James Bond movie that's coming out here in 2 weeks. But the reviews are already coming in. I believe that's one of the James Bond villains. See, I don't know enough about James Bond to tell, but I believe this is no, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. I believe that's who that guy is. And maybe he pets the kitty. I don't know. So the Guardian, the British newspaper, has given the new Bond movie 5 stars. Now, do you think this is a legit review, or is this just Brits loving on themselves?
I'm not a James Bond person. I know nothing. Nothing.
I loved the Pierce Brosnan movies, the James Bond movies, because that was right as I was coming into adolescence. Those were he was my James Bond. And in the GoldenEye movie, where he drives a motorcycle off of a cliff to catch a plane that's already falling down the cliff, and he sold me. That was it. I vote for you if I'm doing that. So, but I'm looking forward to it. From what I hear, it's going to be great. It looks like a good movie, and hopefully the Guardian's right. Next thing on the list, they've now cast the Black Power Ranger in the new movie. They're making another Power Rangers movie, in case you hadn't heard, because, why not? Have some fun. And now they cast the Black Ranger, and here's the interesting part, though. It's an Asian guy. They have, not that guy, it's a different Asian guy, but they're breaking away from the original formula. Now, the original formula for Power Rangers, everybody, and this has now been lampooned by a bunch of videos, but everybody was in their race as so like the black guy was the Black Ranger. The Native American guy was the Red, it was bad. There was an Asian girl who was the Yellow Ranger. The girl was the Pink Ranger.
No, I have a problem with that.
Yeah, everybody should. It was like as soon as all those kids who watched it turned about 15, 16, we all looked back and were like, oh no, that's messed up. You can't do that. And it's now. Now there's tons of videos that point out how just messed up that is.
Mm-hmm.
That they basically racially pigeonholed the whole cast. Kind of amazing that nobody on the cast ever had a problem with it. But yeah, so that's the news, is that they've cast an Asian guy as the Black Power Ranger, and I think that'll be great. It should be fun. I probably won't see it. It's a kids movie.
No,
yeah.
Don't make me go see it.
No,
please, thank you.
Another thing that happened interesting for last week was October 21st, Back to the Future Day. You guys are having fun back there now. October 21st is Back to the Future Day. And interesting thing, the web started just coming to life with all of these Back to the Future videos. It was all over Facebook and Twitter and everything else. And the one that I found the most interesting was a video that shows that Back to the Future predicted 9/11. Yeah. So we're going to show you just a quick clip of the Back to the Future 9/11 video right now.
Dear Dr. Brown, on the night that I go back in time, you will be shot by terrorists. Please take whatever precautions are necessary to prevent this terrible disaster.
In the 1985 classic Back to the Future, at a scene called the Twin Pines Mall, we will bear witness to a sudden surprise terrorist attack, perpetrated by a group of Muslim terrorists. The attack is at the Twin, which is a reference to the Twin Towers. When we turn the sign upside down, the digits on the clock read 911 or 9/11. The Twin Pines are a symbolic representation of the Twin Towers. Before the terrorist attack, the twins are present, but after the attack, the twins are gone, replaced with a single pine. This takes place on 9/11, where the twins are destroyed and replaced with a single tower, the One World Trade Building. Also at this scene, Doc shows us two stopwatches, both of which display encoded 9/11s. Is this only a coincidence? The pines are the towers.
Oh,
symbol system.
Oh, that just sinks it. And you find out later that it's at the mall, the 9/11 Twin Towers Mall. They were attacked by Islamic terrorists. If that doesn't sink it, I don't know what does. That seems clear now.
Nostradamus. He's got to run for his money there.
Yeah, Levinson is Nostradamus. Just totally predicted the movie. So that's some fun. You can catch that out there on YouTube. Next bit of movie news: Kingsman, the British spy movie that came out, I believe, a year ago, 2 years ago, that kind of recaptured that James Bond fun feel.
I loved
is getting a sequel, and
I
loved it too.
Yeah.
I'm so super happy about that. Please make as many of these as you can, because as Bond gets more and more serious and gets away from, like, the last one didn't even have gadgets. He gets a gun. He just gets a gun. And it's not even like a gun that looks like a hamburger or anything. It's just a regular gun. So, yeah, no, I keep making these. Keep making these movies with girls that have razor blades for feet and try to kill people with them. Awesome.
Yeah.
Bring it.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. So, and next sequel news, Ant-Man. Peyton Reed, the second director of Ant-Man, who came on after Edgar Wright left, is now back on for a sequel. The sequel will be called Ant-Man and the Wasp, and it will feature the girl from Lost as the Wasp in the movie. I'm blanking on her name, but she did a great job in the movie, and she'll be back. And now that we're going to see both of them, we're going to have two tiny little superheroes flying around beating up bad guys.
I haven't even seen Ant-Man. I was like,
you didn't see Ant-Man?
No, I'll wait. I'll see it when it comes out on DVD.
It's solid. It's the funniest Marvel movie they've made so far. So, all right. Next bit of movie news: there is a new Mary Poppins movie.
Oh hell no!
You're already upset. Later on, we're going to talk. She really likes Mary Poppins. But they're making a new one. They're saying that it's not going to be a remake. They're not going to remake the old one. It's more, and it's not a sequel, but what it is that originally there were 8 Mary Poppins books. And what this will be is just another one of the books. So it's another story of Mary Poppins. But of course, this means we're going to have to cast a new Mary Poppins. There's going to be new kids. I don't know if Bert will be in it, and I don't know if Bert will have a terrible English accent again, but it might happen.
It's my unhappy face.
Yeah. Well, this. I mean, because here's the thing: Mary Poppins is a classic for a lot of people, and the idea of making a new one or trying to make a better one is going to make a lot of. I mean, it's
no.
Okay. All right, and finishing up the movie news, and this is legit. This really happened. A Russian ambassador, when tweeting about dealing with ISIS, when tweeting about America dealing with ISIS, tweeted this picture right here. That is not a member of ISIS. That is Cal Penn from Harold and Kumar. That is just some brown guy that they managed to find a picture of and put that up.
That's really bad.
And Cal Penn was a good sport about it and laughed along with it, but just kind of shows you that anytime politicians and ambassadors and all those people try to get cute, it just goes bad. So just be boring. Stay in your boring lane. You're good at it. So there's that. All right, so that's the movie news. Now we move on to the classics, and this deals right then with the Mary Poppins remake, because one of your classics is Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins. You know, he asked which were my movies from my childhood that still work, and they're movies that I would still watch today, and they are. They're The Wizard of Oz.
You have several, yeah.
I've got The Wizard of Oz, The Sound of Music, Mary Poppins, and of course 101 Dalmatians.
Of course.
And the cartoon, not the live version. And I still watch these every time they come in, you know, the Wizard of Oz, you know, that's before VCRs, before, you know, Netflix. It came on at Thanksgiving, and The Wizard of Oz was Thanksgiving.
And
my mom,
the only time of the year you could watch
my
it.
mom told me before she died, she was 19 when The Wizard of Oz came out, and she went and saw it with a boy. And then another boy asked her to go see The Wizard of Oz because it was big. And she said she went with the other boy to see The Wizard of Oz and pretended the entire time like she had never seen the movie.
My goodness.
I'm like, good for you, Mom. But, you know, I'm a big Julie Andrews fan. Huge. Yeah. And you can't do The Sound of Music, Mary Poppins. No, you can't touch them. Yeah. They're sacred. So.
Well, and from what I understand, Julie Andrews might be in the movie. Like she might like to give her blessing. She might be in the movie as
Mary Poppins'
maybe
mother.
the mother of the children or something like that. So it's
we'll see. We'll see.
So then we'll all be watching and be like, "You're not Mary Poppins. She's Mary Poppins."
Poppins.
And yeah, we'll have
I don't know if I can handle it.
Those are all great classic movies. Yeah, and I've noticed that to me the only movie that I've had that was like it only came on at a certain time of the year, and other than that, you never watched it, was 10 Commandments for Easter. And every year we would watch the Charlton Heston 10 Commandments, and every year, about 20 minutes in, me and my brother were like, can we go? Come on! Because it's so long.
And boring.
It's so, I mean, it was one of those ones where when they came out as VHS, you have to have 2 tapes. You had to do the swap. You had to be like, all right, everybody stay in your seats, maybe get up to go pee, and then we're going to do second round of 10 Commandments. And just drove on forever. It's so long. Such a long movie.
So long.
Okay. Well, every week we talk about some of our other favorite movies, and seeing as I have this horror movie expert.
And this will be airing on Halloween.
And this will be airing the weekend of Halloween.
Yes.
We're going to look at some of our favorite horror movies based on the monsters that they are. So we're looking at our favorite vampire movie, werewolf movie, Frankenstein, slasher, and ghosts. And I forgot zombie movies, and Susan brought that up. I forgot to bring up zombie movies. So I'll think of one and she'll throw hers in. Let's go ahead and start with mine this week. And my favorite vampire movie is Blade 2. I like this one. I remember the first time I saw it years ago. I actually didn't see it in theaters. I saw it years later at a friend's house on a DVD. And I knew that it was a comic book character. I knew it was a comic book property. I am a huge Wesley Snipes fan. And it was just good. It's just solid all the way through. The fight scenes are great. Wesley Snipes' little quips that he gives every time he kills a zombie are fun. The thing where the zombies open up their jaws and then it's good stuff. It's Chris Christopherson is in it, and that's always fun. And he like limps around and mutters things like "damn it, Blade," and he just mutters around. That's one of my favorites. So, Susan, what do you got?
Well, my favorite vampire movie was 1992 Bram Stoker's Dracula. The reason why is the visual effects were just stunning.
Especially for 92.
Anyway, the reason I love that one is just the visual. The cinematography was amazing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
And this is Keanu Reeves, Gary Oldman.
It was a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
And it's gross and scary at the same time.
Totally gross. And it's another one of those ones where it's Gary Oldman and you can't tell that it's Gary Oldman. Which is, to me, like that's the mark of the greatest actors in the world, is that I didn't know you were in the movie.
Yep.
I end going, man, that guy was great. Who was that? And then you have to go check later and find out that it's Gary Oldman. Because, I mean, you see him in that. He looks nothing like Sirius Black. He looks nothing like the bald guy he played in The Contender. The man is a
good
chameleon.
movie.
He's really good.
Good movie.
And Keanu Reeves doesn't suck. So at no point did you go like, vampires. Whoa. I'm waiting for it the whole movie. Like,
he doesn't suck.
I'm waiting for that. This is before The Matrix, but if
Yeah.
he brought up Kung Fu, I thought that would have been good. But it didn't happen. He sticks with it. Does a good job. Okay, next one up is werewolf movies. And for me, my favorite werewolf movie is Wolf with Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer. There's a picture of him being wolfish. And the thing that I love about this is that while every other werewolf movie, you get about 15, 20 minutes at the beginning and then they're like, and straight into wolf. This takes the entire movie and slowly lets him change and slow to the point where you never see really, it's a very subtle change to the wolf. It's not giant snout. He's not 8 feet tall and running around. It's just Jack Nicholson slightly hairier, and he's got claws and teeth. And so it's but he kills a deer. He does a bunch of really gross stuff, and it's to me it's a great movie. He does a really good job of it. So that's my favorite werewolf movie. Okay. Susan?
Well, my favorite one is, I'm not really that into werewolves, but if I had to choose one, it would be The Howling from 1981.
Classic.
Yeah, classic, and lots of blood and guts and
lots of blood and guts. Lots of those change scenes.
Yeah.
That,
it's action packed. It keeps you going. So.
Tons, and now there's like a dozen sequels of The Howling 4, Return of the Howling, Son of the Howling, and they just keep showing up and doing more werewolf stuff and killing more people. Those are great.
Yep.
Great horror flicks. So next up is Frankenstein movie, and when I wrote this down, I did think to myself, how many Frankenstein movies are there? There are a lot. There's a lot more than I would have thought. And when I looked up a list of great Frankenstein movies, Rocky Horror Picture Show came up, which I never would have thought of as a Frankenstein movie. But it is a Frankenstein. I mean, even what's his name's character is Frankenfurter, and they make the Rocky guy in the tiny little shorts, and they're Frankenstein.
He's the monster.
And when I thought about it, I don't really like any other Frankenstein movies. I'm not a big Frankenstein guy. Now, we have a new one coming out here in a couple months.
Yeah, that looks like it's going to be really good.
That looks really good with Harry Potter and James McAvoy. I'm sorry, the kid's Harry Potter forever. He'll never be able to shake it.
It looks really good.
He could cure cancer and be like, Harry Potter cures cancer. So maybe that'll be my new favorite Frankenstein movie. I skipped the one with Aaron Eckhart where he's got swords. I didn't see you need to watch that one. So that's my favorite. It's got some fun songs, and Damn It, Janet will always have a nice place in my heart. So that's mine.
Well, my favorite Frankenstein movie is Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein.
I almost picked that.
Yeah. I love that movie. I cannot say enough about that movie. Sweet mystery of life, I lost found you.
Yeah, it's a classic. It's great.
Everything about that movie is awesome.
Everything from Mel Brooks is a classic. All his stuff is wonderful. Okay, and the next one we were looking at was Slasher, your favorite slasher film. And I went with Slumber Party Massacre 2. And this one is interesting because it gets away from the others. Normally, Slumber Party Massacre, it's a nice, even recipe. You put a bunch of busty gals in a room, they're having a slumber party, somebody shows up and stabs them. Done. That's a movie. And we just keep crapping those out every week. But no, with Slumber Party Massacre 2, we do some fun things. And in this one, the killer has a guitar with a drill on it, and he needs to play the guitar, and then he drills and kills people. And that's what I'm doing. And when you think about it, you're like, huh. I never really thought about that. That's like a whole new way to do it. The other thing that I love about this is part of the soundtrack. It's a movie. It's a song they sing at the beginning of the movie. We're going to show you a clip right now of Tokyo Convertible.
Oh my God.
Oh, I love the song. I wanna be your Tokyo convertible. I wanna have fun with you. I just love going through the motions. I just love going through the motions. I wanna be.
So that was Silver Bird Mask of Deer. That song creeps up throughout the movie and is just ridiculous and terrible. And to this day, the friend of mine that I saw that movie with, we'll still call each other up and just start humming Tokyo Convertible. Just remember the good old times. But yeah, that's a bad movie. So what about you for slashers?
For slashers, Halloween is one of my favorite movies of all time, and it was the first modern slasher. That's one of the reasons I love it so much. It's the whole, like Janet Leigh, her mom was in Psycho, and we have some of these earlier movies before, but the first real blood and guts, gonna kill all the teenagers slasher is Halloween, 1978. And then I don't know if they have a picture of it. I also really like Jason X.
Gosh, they do have that picture. There he is.
Yeah, Jason X.
Kinda
That
looks
one's
like the
funny.
Shredder from Ninja
It's
Turtles.
funny and it's a good slasher. Jason in Space.
Jason in Space.
Is the way I like to.
Jason in Space. Yeah. And see, I've never seen Halloween. I've never seen Jason X. Again, this isn't these aren't my things. Like I've seen every comedy ever made. But I've never seen
You've got to see Halloween and Jason X when the robot
Halloween and
attacks
Jason-
him is awesome. God,
I will go check these out.
Oh, you got to see these.
Okay.
This is the movie.
Halloween is the movie.
Halloween
Now, is
is
the one
the
with Mike
movie.
Myers?
Yes.
Okay.
And Jamie Lee
that's-
Curtis.
Which the Mike Myers mask is the William Shatner mask.
Yeah. And it's Halloween, 1978, the best.
All right, I promise to check it out. All right, next one that we're looking at is ghost movies about ghosts. And for me, my favorite ghost movie has got to be The Shining, which I know I've got 2 Jack Nicholson movies on this list. It's because he's great.
Right.
And The Shining is wonderful. We talked last week about my fear of old people. And this movie played on that too. The famous scene where he goes in the room and the old lady gets out of the tub and I lose my freaking mind. It's like you can have as many little girls in the hallway as you want. I'm not scared of little girls in the hallway. It's little girls. I can beat up little girls. And I can probably beat up old ladies too. But they scare me and I don't know why. It's just, she crawls out of the tub and just, I'm out.
No,
I gotta leave.
And the makeup on her is just amazing. So, yeah.
No, that's my scary one. What do you got for ghosts?
Well, for ghosts, again, there's so many of them. I mean, my gosh, we've been watching a lot of ghost movies from Japan and from Thailand and from the Philippines and over there in Asia because they're really into ghost movies. So I could talk for ghost movies for hours, but I'll just pick one of my favorite ones is 13 Ghosts.
Okay.
And then because there's really good special effects in it and it's really, really, really scary and you never know quite what's going on. And then and that's the remake 2001 and then also Ghost Ship 2002. Right. It's very, very scary. You don't know what's going on with that one either. So, and then, I want to just make a plug for my all-time favorite horror movie of all time, Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead from 1988, starring Lance Henriksen. Awesome.
Gotcha. Okay.
Awesome.
Well, we're coming to the end of the show, so we're going to have to head into Suck Not Suck. Here we go for Suck Not Suck for this week. And we start with haunted houses. Now, when I say haunted houses, I mean like the fun ones they put up in town or at like farms and stuff, and you go have a good time with it. Do haunted houses suck or not suck?
Not suck.
Not suck.
Not suck. I love them.
Yeah.
As many as I can get in at Halloween time. As many as I can.
I hit one up Saturday night. There's one here on Esplanade.
Is it any good?
It was okay. It was pretty good. It was. I was. Here's my problem with these. If I'm at the back end of it, I'm getting like the third scare. There's a buddy of mine, his girlfriend, and then my wife, and then me. So by the time they get to me, She screamed, my wife's screamed, and I'm like, whatever.
Well, why don't you walk in front?
Sometimes I do. When it's just me and the wife, I do. Just because she's scared. Even though they tell you up front, we're not going to touch you. We're not going to touch you.
It's still scary.
They're going to touch me.
It's still scary.
Yeah, no, but they're fun. I love haunted houses.
Yeah.
Next up on the list, actual haunted houses. I have not done this. I am a coward, scared little man. Susan has.
Minnie.
Minnie, like actually, she told me a story the other day about one in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Yeah, the tunnels underneath Edinburgh, Scotland. And the Winchester Mystery House in the seance room at midnight on Halloween. Where else? Underneath Alcatraz. It's kind of a hobby, and it's a good scare. But this thing is they're actual haunted houses, and you don't know exactly what you're going to get. So, but there's some pretty scary things out there.
Yeah.
So I love them. Can't get enough of them.
You have written down can't get enough. So that's not suck. I'm going to say not suck too, but I'm also too scared to try.
Nope, I'm not
there we
scared.
go.
Well, I'm scared, but that's part of the fun of it.
Of
But
it.
also with the real ones, you don't know what you're getting into, so you do have to be a little bit careful. So.
Okay, next up, movies with monkeys for comic relief. Do these movies suck or not suck?
Suck.
They suck. Suck. I will go ahead and agree with that.
Suck.
Monkey Trouble. I don't know if we have MVP, Most Valuable Primate, where the monkey plays baseball with Joey from Friends. Pretty much anytime the monkey's there to have fun, it's basically the writer saying, we could not think of anything. But there was a deadline, so we had to produce something.
So we threw a monkey
movie.
in a monkey.
There you go. It's a monkey movie with a monkey. That counts. And it doesn't count. Those suck. Next up, movies with monkeys for dramatic tension.
Not suck.
Not so monkey. That's the exact movie I was thinking. Monkey Shine.
Not suck.
And this does not suck. So now, if the monkey scares you, and the other one I think of is Congo.
Yeah.
With just all the monkeys coming out.
Especially
and
when they close up on the monkeys and they're all looking at the camera going.
Yeah.
That's like they're waiting to eat your head.
And then you have the little monkey, and she goes, "Bad monkeys, bad monkeys, bad monkeys." And it's like an innocent little girl voice coming from a gorilla, and she's warning you about. Not good.
Not suck.
Not suck. Next one on the list: Rob Zombie movies. I'm going to go ahead and say suck. I don't like these.
I didn't know what to think. I wrote not suck on my notes, but it depends. I think on this one I can't say. It depends. I think if I'm in the right mood, they'll suck. If I'm in the right mood, they won't suck. It depends. But I have so many other choices. I'm going to probably, because it's just basically buckets of blood.
Buckets of blood and not much rhyme or reason to it sometimes. It's just
no, like when he remade Halloween, I didn't quite get it.
Yeah.
So it depends on my mood, but mostly suck, sometimes not.
Go back to making music raps. I like that better. So next one up, the Lights Out Internet Horror Short. I think let's go ahead and let's just show this real quick. It's a tiny little clip.
Yeah, hold up.
Because we've got a big light now.
So that's the parody version of it. So basically, the Lights Out was as a clip. It was entered into a horror short where there's a woman coming down the hallway and she flips the lights on and off and she sees something down at the end of the hallway. It's wonderfully done. It's 2.5 minutes.
It's great.
And it's very scary. They do a wonderful job of really just making you feel unease and making you feel. This is the kind of thing that I felt was missing from Paranormal Activity was parts like this where they just draw it out. So instead of giving you the quick scare and the quick they just draw it out and just make you just worry and make you upset and make you feel uncomfortable. And it does a great job with it. The real version we just saw a clip of there is funny because it just shows how people deal with that in real life, and that if there's someone at the end of your hallway, you don't just leave them there. You bum rush them and beat the crap out of them. And which is, I may or may not do. I don't know.
Well,
so suck or not suck, the original Lights Out?
Yeah, not suck.
Not
definitely.
Suck.
It was great. And one of the things about that too is is that, again, I agree, that's what was missing from Paranormal 4, is
Yeah.
that tension, okay?
Yeah.
There's a lot of tension in Lights Out. One of my favorite ghost movies that I didn't put on here because I thought about it, and The Haunting. Not the remake. The remake is good.
Okay.
But the original, The Haunting, from the 1963. And the truth is, nothing really happens the entire movie. But you spend the entire movie going, oh no, the door rattled. Oh my God, that door. You know, you spend the entire movie waiting for something horrific to happen, and it never does. And that, you don't have any tension release, and it's actually really scary.
Yeah, no, that's the stuff that really puts me off. Mothman Prophecies did a good job of that.
That's a good movie. You don't know.
Scares the junk out of me. So moving right along, the real version of Lights Out, did that suck or not suck? I thought it was cute.
I like it. It didn't suck, no.
It was fun. It was a good time. Okay, next thing on the list, this lady being rough with an endangered panda. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. You got to support the head with the panda. I mean, that was Daddy 101 for me. You can't just shove him, and that's a little baby panda. He's gonna go.
He'll be scarred for life.
He'll be scarred for life. Like all the other pandas will be like, hey, we're gonna go out and get jobs because we've got confidence, and he's gonna be like, he's gonna sit at home and eat bamboo, and he can't do that. He doesn't have any confidence. He fell off the rocking chair thing. So I think the lady sucks. The video is cute and I love it.
No, I said not suck.
You said not suck. You're gonna let her off.
I'm gonna let her off because I don't think she was trying to be mean to the panda.
Okay.
I think it was just, she didn't realize that the whole thing would roll back and panda would go flying across the.
Oh, I think she was negligent.
Negligent.
Okay. People who put out the Take One bowl for Halloween. There's the little bowl on a stool. Yes, that bowl. Do those people suck?
The people suck, the bowl sucks, and usually the candy that they put in the bowl sucks.
Yes, because they know the first kid's just gonna take it.
Sucks.
So you're not gonna put good stuff out there. You're not
Never
gonna
got
put
anything.
Snickers or anything like that. It's gonna be like if you get lollipops like that.
Hey, that's a good bowl.
That's not bad. That's a good bowl.
That's a good bowl.
I'm worried more about like Smarties or like Brock's. Like a whole. It's like, oh, it's a mixed bag of Brock's. No.
I like Smarties, but Brock's no.
I need name.
Brock's suck.
I need name candies. That's what I'm looking for. Last one here on Suck Not Suck. Halloween pamphlets. I hate these. I hate these so much. You go to the door and they'd be like, "Oh, happy Halloween!" They give you a little pamphlet, and it was either trying to convert you to their religion, trying to teach you about being safe,
or how to brush your teeth.
Oh, how to brush your teeth. Come on, man. I would have been more entertained if it told me how to wipe my butt. I mean, I don't want a pamphlet. I want candy.
Here
Just
you
shut
go,
off
Ben. Enjoy your Halloween.
No! It's terrible. That is awful. So that's my opinion on that.
Throw them on the floor on the side. Think of your pants.
When you say suck, not suck, and you...
Suck.
That sucks. That just sucks. Halloween pamphlets. Just shut your lights off and go home. I'd rather you not be there. Or just stand outside and apologize for being a D-bag. That works too. So,
no candy for you.
No candy for you. All right. So that is the end of this week's show. Thanks for watching. There's more of Ashton Kutcher for some reason. Next week, our guest host is going to be Joshua Furtado. We're going to watch the Steve Jobs movie, which is probably why that picture's up. We're not going to watch that one, though. We're going to watch the good one, the new one. We're going to watch Steve Jobs. We're going to watch Our Brand is Chaos. And also Scout's Guide to Zombie Apocalypse.
Oh, yeah. Now, see, you should have zombies. Fido.
Oh, Fido. That's favorite zombie movie, Fido.
And I love zombie movies. That one is awesome. They have zombies as house servants.
Now, you told me before you've created your own database of zombie movies.
I have a database of zombie movies so that I don't accidentally watch them a second time.
Oh, man. That's a lot of zombie movies. That's a lot of... That's yeah.
Hundreds.
That's a lot. So
love my zombies.
Thanks for watching. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thanks. high school kids and you're sexualizing them.
We were high school kids and we went to go see Rocky Horror.
But well, also those kids are like 30.
They're not.